We live in an era where someone can repackage water into a can and turn it into $1 billion business. Ladies and gentlemen, packaging doesn't just go around the product, it is the product. And today we're gonna talk about the top 4 brands that disrupted the packaging game. Because for the consumer, the package is the first interaction, the first judgment, the first emotional decision. And when it's done creatively, it doesn't just sell something, it conditions consumer behavior. I'm Steve Rad. We help creators and brands bring consumer products to market. Creative packaging can resurrect dead categories. It can reignite boring products and turn bad ideas into cultural movements. Let's get into it. Number 1, and my personal favorite, liquid death. They didn't invent a new kind of drink. They didn't discover a new source for water. They didn't add vitamins or minerals or electrolytes or fancy marketing buzzwords. They took water and put it in a can. And not just any can. They gave it an attitude. They gave it a visual language that felt rebellious. They somehow made hydration feel dangerous. And that matters because they didn't sell water, they sold an identity. They made it okay to drink water at a bar or at a concert, in a room where plastic bottles felt childish. Same product, new context. That's packaging changing where and how a product is consumed. All right, let's go a little bit smaller. Number 2 on this list, and one of the most boring categories imaginable. Let's talk about lip balm. A plastic tube with a twist, a cap you likely lose in your car. For decades, that's all it was until EOS showed up and asked one simple question. What if the shape was wrong? They didn't overhaul the lip balm formula. They didn't out-engineer the category. They made it a sphere. They turned it into a circle. And suddenly lip balm was playful. Suddenly it was giftable. Suddenly it could roll across the table and sit at your desk. Suddenly it was showing up in your Instagram photos. Think about it. Before that, when is the last time you took a selfie with your fucking chapstick? The packaging made it visible. The packaging made it emotional. The packaging made it cool and worth talking about. Look at Scrub Daddy. We've been cleaning plates with a yellow rectangle for centuries. Someone came by and carved a smiley face and flipped it into a vertical box, and suddenly there's a $200 million business, and washing dishes is suddenly not a chore, it's a character. Let's talk about something a little bit more sacred, like wine. Wine has rules, glass bottles, corks, stemware. There's heritage and tradition. And unfortunately, tradition is usually where innovation goes to die. Until one day someone decided that wine doesn't need permission anymore. Look at beatbox beverages. Look at stack wine. Wine in boxes. Wine in sealed cups. Suddenly wine is being stacked like Pringles, and that shouldn't work, but it does. Because packaging suddenly changed the occasion. Suddenly wine shows up at festivals, at pools, at tailgates. At the usual places glass was never allowed. Same alcohol, same purpose, new behavior. And folks, that's the big message here. Creative packaging doesn't decorate a product, it repositions it. It changes who it's for and why it belongs there. Look at Oatly. Milk was boring. Cartons were invisible, so they turned the package into a manifesto, big type, opinionated copy. A tone that felt human, awkward, honest. You didn't just open it and pour it in your mouth, you read it. And just like that, oat milk wasn't an alternative to milk, it was a statement. And now here's the real lesson behind all this. All of these brands did these 3 things first. Number 1, they broke the category expectation. They didn't ask what the shelf wanted. They asked what would interrupt the shelf space. Number 2, they made the product emotionally legible. You knew what it stood for before you even knew what it did. And third, they gave the consumer permission to behave differently. Drink water like a rebel, use lip balm like a toy, bring wine with you where it doesn't belong. That's not achieved through graphic design, that's achieved through behavior design. And this is where most of the brands get stuck. They think that their idea is too weird, it's too risky. This feels a little off-brand. But here's the reality we're living in. If water can become a lifestyle brand, if chapstick can become art, then there are no rules. And suddenly the only thing holding your product back is conviction, because creative packaging demands commitment. You have to believe in it way before the customer does. Not to blend in, not to look politically correct, but to design something that forces a reaction. So if you're building a product or reviving one and wondering why it's not connecting, don't start dissecting the features. Start with the package and ask yourself, what behavior do I want to change? What rule do I want to break? And mostly, what permissions do I want to give or allow? Because in this era, packaging doesn't follow culture, it creates it. I'm Steve Rad, thanks for watching.